Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope y'all are doing great today. Well, this is the final episode of my hauling how-to series. And this one we're going to talk about commodity trading, as you can see. So commodities, you can make piles and piles of credits, but man, you're risking piles of credits to do it. So if you're going to do it, you better do it smart or you're going to lose your tail. So in this episode, I'm going to cover all the things I've learned, the lessons learned, so you can be successful at it. I've even included a spreadsheet that you can download. So when you get ready to start putting together that awesome route plan where you can make millions of credits, you'll be able to do it easily. So I use it and I love it. I figured, you know what, I'll share it with the community. Maybe it'll help you out, or you can throw it away, whatever you want to do with it. So anyway, y'all, without further ado, y'all, let's dive in. I said a bunch of y'alls. Let's dive in and see what this commodity trading is all about. Thanks for watching. All right, guys. So what is commodity trading? In its simplest form, commodity trading is basically buying low and selling high. That's it. You're going all over the verse looking for the cheapest price and then looking for the place you can sell it for the most and to make the most profit. That's what it's all about. From my experience, commodity prices and availability and sellability can fluctuate based upon the volume of cargo that's being moved around these various locations, with some items prices being more volatile than other, meaning it fluctuates more based upon that movement of cargo that's being bought and sold, while others prices tend to stay the same. It's kind of weird. It's not a polished game loop yet. We'll just leave it at that. When you jump into commodity trading, you have to keep in mind you're competing against basically three things. The first one, you're competing against other haulers who are trying to turn a profit too, and it's a race to beat them to the purchase location so you can fill your ship, and then beat them to the sell location so you can sell it. So you're competing against other haulers. You're competing against pirates who, I mean, they're trying to make a quick, easy profit too, and in hopes that you mess up and they can catch you. And then lastly, you're competing against the game. And this game basically hates our guts. At least that's been the experience in 4.8. Meaning that freight elevators not working, stealing the freight elevators, bringing up an empty load and losing your cargo, server errors. You get your ship all loaded up and it just randomly explodes and you lose everything. It's happening to lots of people. So you're competing against the bugginess of the game. It's a big risk you're taking, but the reward for that risk can be quite substantial. So if you're going to get into this, just remember this one thing: don't risk more than you're willing to lose. If you go in it with that mindset, you'll be okay, but don't get into it if you're not willing to risk losing it. So because everything we do in this game is a risk. That's commodity trading. That's what it's all about. So, and the next thing we're going to talk about is the websites that I use. So let's take a look at those. All right, guys, in this section of the video, I'm going to show you the two websites that I typically use when I'm trying to work out a trade route, or if I'm just looking at commodities, things of that nature. I'm going to show you how you can create some basic trade routes using them. And then I'm going to show you a tool that I created on Microsoft Excel. And then basically it's a trading route planner, and it's a spreadsheet. And then I'm going to show you the Google Sheets version of it that you'll be able to click on in the description and use for yourself. So without further ado, let's dive into this. So this is the UEX Corp. So if you go to Google and you type in UEX Corp, something like that starts this. It's going to bring up this website right here. Now, this website can do a lot more than just trade routes. It can vehicles, items, if you're looking for an item. If you want to know like where you can rent a vehicle, you can come here. All kinds of cool stuff. But what we're going to look at here is commodities. And that's the tab that we're on right here, is the commodities. So you can do manual search for a commodity. This is kind of like a stock market ticker. You can hover over it and click into these different types of commodities. This page gives you statistics using these charts and graphs. You can look at and see what are the items that are moving. All kinds of other little graphs. Look, it even shows you what ships are being used the most. The Ironclad is moving the most cargo right now. The Hermes and then the Raft. and it just goes on and on. It hurts my head. It's a lot of stuff. But if we click over here in this average index tab, scroll down, it shows all this different stuff. And what we're going to do is I'm going to sort it by profit. And you can see like what has the most profit. And you can, I mean, it just goes on and on and on. A lot of this stuff, you got to go to Pyro. Usually when we start getting down into the 1,000 range, it becomes stuff that we can buy, like gold, laranite, this kind of stuff, right? And so you can start looking at, okay, that's a corundum, astatine, pressurized. These are the items that you can start, writing down and taking note of when we get to the part where we are trying to build our own route plan. Okay. Oh, let's look at aluminum. So we can click on aluminum, and then it gives us a whole. It takes an even deeper dive into aluminum. If we click on the buy, this little buy tab right here, this is where you can go and purchase. This is all the locations that you can go purchase this item. Okay. The next thing we want to look at is where you can sell them at. That's the other thing this site will show you, like where you can go to sell these items at. Cool. And you can click the simulate tab, and it'll kind of give you a quick, like if you have a whole C, it's fully loaded. This is how much you're going to make, that kind of thing. All right, cool. So this is UEX. We go back and we can click back into there. Real briefly, we're going to take a look at SE Trade Tools. The cool thing about SE Trade Tools is that you can use this site to kind of cross-check UEX. So let's look at the commodities. So commodities in this section here, it's more of a drop down. You look for it, but we can also, if we come back, we can go to analytics. So analytics kind of gives us a similar look as the average index. It's fairly similar. Okay. The box sizes, average prices. So we were looking at aluminum a minute ago. So aluminum, here you go. And we can click on that. The cool thing about SE Trade Tools is it gives it to you side by side. Now this is where it's being sold at, and this is where it's being bought at, versus buying is where you can go buy it at. Sell it is where you can go sell it at. Whereas this is where it's being sold at, and this is where it's being bought. It's kind of reversed. They're just presenting it to you differently, but whatever. But that's the cool thing about this site. I don't know. This is really nice. Okay. But just to give you an example of the price swing that's between the two. So right here it's saying that Dudley Daughters and Pyro was sold. It was about 14 hours ago. Somebody sold it for 4K. Okay. See how different it is? It's off by about 200. So just keep that in mind. So what's going on is people are actually, they have an app on their computer that's open, and they physically go to these locations, and I guess they go to the commodity terminal, and I guess it records the data some kind of way. So I'm not really certain on that, but it's actually people, and that data is being reported to these sites. So that's the two different sites. I tend to land on UEX more often than not. I don't know why. I just do. But let's take a look at another thing you can use these sites for, and that is creating a basic trade route with these. Okay, so we're going to start off with UEX. So what we can do is we can go down here and go to routes. Okay, there's a lot. You look at this page and you're like, there's a lot on here. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to put in C2. All right, cool. The first thing is we need a ship. Then let's say we're going to invest 2 million credits into this. That's what we're going to invest. All right, cool. The next thing we're going to do is, where are we going to start at? I recommend let's start at Everest Harbor. Okay, we can start there. I recommend either Everest Harbor or Port Tressler if you're going to use this website. Okay. Number of stops, we're going to select 4. Now it's going to sit here and chew on this for a minute. All right, and the next thing you can do is you can click loop. All right, cool. But this is a website you can use to see how it makes a basic route plan. This plan will net you about 1.7 million if you pull it off, and we're hauling hydrogen, waste, iron, and then waste again. So, and there you go. That is a basic route plan. Now, SE Trade Tools will do the same thing, and it's presented to you in a little bit different way. So we can come here and go trade routes, Hercules, just put 5 million. That's already there. We're going to click pure profit, and let's see, locations. We start at Everest Harbor. I'm going to click Nix and Pyro. These are the places I want to avoid. And then 5 stops and hit submit. Let's see if it does it. We're going to deselect all. This is kind of buggy. All right, come up here, submit. All right, there we go. And here's a couple different routes. What you want to do is hit best circular route. So this one goes Everest Harbor to Terra Gateway to Port Tressler to Virginia Point Surface Station, then back to Everest Harbor. All right, which is pretty cool. Now, what's really nice about this particular site, look, you can click on alternative items. So instead of buying carbon, you can buy iron. You won't make a whole lot of credits doing that, but there you go. No alternatives. Here's a couple of other alternatives you could haul. Maybe if there's not enough ammonia, you can grab some of this. You know what I'm saying? Which is really nice. This is a really nice website for creating a basic trading route. Pretty cool. And there you go, guys. There are the 2 sites and how you can use these to make basic trading routes, get you started hauling. If you don't want to invest the time to create your own, this is something you can use. So there you go. All in all, fantastic. 2 fantastic websites. They produce similar information, but they show it to you in a different kind of way, which is really nice. Though I really like both of them. Now, what we can do is I'm going to show you. Let me bring this spreadsheet over here. All right, so this is the Google Sheets document, Commodity Trading Route Planner. Okay, and this is the pages that's on it. Right, it even has a guide on how you use it. This is Commodities tab. This is the route planning tab, and to keep it simple, so I'm not messing with this. I'm gonna close this out, but you'll be able to. There's going to be a link in the description where you can actually download this and use it yourself. I'm gonna close that out. I'm gonna bring over my Excel spreadsheet version of this. So they're basically identical, but this one's I've added a couple other tabs. What this Commodities tab is used for, you're going to come in here on this, and you're going to start looking at. I'll move that out of the way. What you want to do, let's go back to Commodities. You can do it via the average index if you want to do it that way, and you want to start recording these items that you can purchase inside of Stanton and how much they go for and where you can get them at. So as an example, we can look at, we were talking about aluminum. Let's look at aluminum. Here's aluminum. We can buy it at Pyro Gateway. Okay. So what we would do here on our spreadsheet is the very first thing we would do, we come over here and we would select aluminum, right? Purchase location, Pyro Gateway in Stanton. And let's see, how much was it? 31. So 31.28. Okay. 31.28. You type that in. Now, it doesn't show what you just typed in until you click away from it. It's just part of the conditional formatting. So just be mindful of that. The next thing we need to figure out is where we sell it at the best price. So the best price to sell it at inside of Stanton is going to be at a, let's see, Area 18, New Babbage, Lorville. All these have you going Planet Side, Stanton Gateway. So 3.6. So 3.6. So we're going to come over here. We're going to go Port Tressler, 3,600. Okay. Boom. So it's a 472 profit. Next thing we need to select the ship that we're going to use. So let's just say, I don't know. We'll put the Ironclad in there. There you go. And the max container size is 32. So if we look at, if we come here and we look at the, it'll tell you what the max container size right here is. Cool. So the next thing we can do is we can go to Commodities here and we can type in aluminum. And we can cross-check this. So sure enough, let's see, Stanton Pyro Gateway in Stanton, 31.28. Stanton Gateway, that's in Nix. Port Tressler, see, this one's showing that it's 37. And it might be, shoot, it might be 35. Who knows? But that's what's being reported. All right, cool. So there's you. What you want to do is you want to start recording on this. Let's do another one. So I recommend you get a couple. So let's just say we'll go back to aluminum here. And we'll do, we'll look for the very best price you can get it here inside of Stanton. Buy, it says, Pyro Gateway in Stanton. Okay, so we'll use that. Be the same. 31.28. And let's just say, what was the next one? To sell it. Area 18. So we can come down here and start with 38. I really don't recommend you go to ground. Let's see. What's the TDD? Area 18. So it's 3,800. Those were 32s. All right, so you're going to make what? 400,000 more by selling it at Area 18, but you got to go planet side, which means you're going to have to hit the planet side, do a cool down. The jump maybe it depends on where you come in, what angle you come in at. Could be 1 or 2 OM1 to OM3 type scenarios, and then you got to fly down to the planet side, dock, unload your ship, then go over there and sell it. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of time invested in. Is it worth 400,000 credits? I mean, it's up to you. But what you're going to do eventually, though, is you're going to end up with something that looks like this. You're going to want to just document all the different items that you're interested in hauling, has access inside of Stanton or Pyro or Next, depending upon where you're at. Okay, and you're going to end up with something that looks like that. Then what you're going to do is once you've got all those items recorded and you've pretty much you're happy with all the different commodities, what you're going to want to do is actually get in your ship and go fly to these locations and verify these prices. I've seen wild price disparities between what's being reported and what is actually there. I'm talking about like over 1,000 credits difference. So go check it out, and if they're good, you can just put a check mark everywhere you've been. Right, I've already been there, verified that. Okay, let's go to Port Tressler. Yeah, that price is right. I went to TDD. That way you can check and make sure that there's nothing like just egregiously wrong. That way you don't you load a ship and take it to that location and try to sell it and then have to, because I'm telling you, you can go there and unload your ship, and then you get there and it's like you're going to lose 400,000 credits if you sell it here. Well, that's not what UEX is reporting or SE Trade Tools. I know this from experience, so that's why that's part of it. Once you've checked all these things, now you're ready to make a route plan. Okay, what you would do is you would look at your commodities, so you can start seeing, okay, Port Tressler to Pyro Gateway, cool. What is sold at Pyro Gateway? Okay, aluminum is sold at Pyro Gateway, and you can take it and sell it. Where can I take it and sell it? Oh, I could take it and sell it to Terra Gateway. All right, cool. So you can actually start your route plan. Let's start it. I don't know. We'll start at Port Tressler. Let's see. Port Tressler. Boom. Drop off location. Pyro Gateway. You see what it did? It just put the distance and the time travel there, the time it takes to get there. Let's see. Commodities. What do we got here? That's going to be quartz. And then what you would do, you put in the quartz. Oh, where is quartz? Quartz. There it is. Max size is 32. What is the purchase price? $35.63. 35. So we would type that in, $35.63. And then the sell price, what is that? $47.33. Boom. Okay, we need to select a ship. Let's just say you're gonna maybe you guys let's see, maybe you purchased the Raylan. All right, cool. So you're gonna make 748,000 credits on that run. That doesn't suck, with a profit margin of 25%. So next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna click, since we're at Pyro Gateway, we're gonna click Pyro Gateway. You need to go back to your thing. Okay, what can I sell? What can I buy at Pyro Gateway that I can sell? Well, we got aluminum. Let's see, what else is at Pyro Gateway? Hephaestonite. What else? Anything else? We got some iron. Let's grab aluminum. Okay, aluminum. We go back here. We can go. We're gonna haul aluminum because why not? Where are we gonna sell it at? Well, so we'll just say we're gonna go to Terra Gateway. Cool. Pyro Gateway to Terra Gateway 53. Again, these times are taken from UEX and from me running around Stanton. Okay, they are approximations. Okay, so it may vary depending upon your ship, quantum drive, etc. Just keep that in mind. But it'll give you like a ballpark. So, what is the purchase price at Pyro Gateway? If we buy it at Pyro Gateway, it's showing that it is 31.28. Okay. We'll put in 31.28. Cool. And then sell price at Terra Gateway. What is it? Sell 3,500. All right, cool. We'll put in 3,500. Boom. So it already does the math for you. So aluminum, that's what you're going to do. You're just going to sit here and start triangulating. Well, what can I buy at Terra Gateway that I can take and sell somewhere? Well, you can do that when you've got all this information. But here is a basic route that you can use. It'd be Port Tressler to the Pyro Gateway to Terra Gateway. See what I mean? Terra Gateway back to Seraphim, and you can just keep going in back at Port Tressler. And the cool thing about this spreadsheet here is it will tell you, okay, that route's going to net you about 4 million credits. It shows you how much money you're risking. and your profit margin. So these are pretty good, man. This is a jam up profit margin, okay? And it's not bad. Some locations are better than others, but that's it. That's how you make your own route plan, trading route, whatever you want to call it. And once you've made it, you're going to go to these locations and you're going to tweak it. It's going to be, you might want to make yourself a couple and have a couple options available. So like maybe you go to Port Tressler and there's no quartz to buy. Well, what are you going to do now? What else does Port Tressler sell? Well, we can look at, we can actually go to locations on this site. We can type in Port Tressler. And there you go. So if you're at Port Tressler and there's no quartz to buy, well, maybe you can grab copper. All this is a route plan. It's just something to deviate from, right? That's all the plan is anyway. I would say, maybe have yourself a couple backup routes. So I hate to admit, I got 3 monitors, so I would usually have this over on another monitor and I could quickly refer to it and like, okay, there's no quartz. Cool. I'll just grab copper and we're going to go to Terra Gateway or Bajini Point, and off we go. So that is me teaching you how to fish. Now, a couple things of note I wanted to talk about. The reason why I don't recommend you, if you're going to operate, I recommend you if you're going to do trading, I don't recommend hitting jump gates. This is the reason why. It's a natural choke point that pirates are going to try to exploit because it's easy. Does that make sense? So unless you're with an organization and you have, people supporting you. But if you're a solo player like me, I don't recommend you hitting jump gates. I just recommend you avoid them. That's my first recommendation. 2, I don't recommend, let me show you this. I'm going to go to buy. These locations right here, these Shubins, these Roria Daltanas, this is what I call going to ground. You actually have to go to, even go into like, I don't know. Let's go back to aluminum real quick. This is basically going to ground, going planet side and selling these TDDs and new Babbages and Lords. Like if this is your very last stop, then have at it. But when you go to ground, pirates can sit there and watch you. It's very risky unless you have friends with you. I don't recommend you do it. I recommend you go to space stations. It's a lot safer to do it that way. And it's a lot quicker turnaround time because you don't have the travel time to get to the admin area to buy and sell your products, But there you go. That is the sites I use, UEX, and then SE Trade Tools, how to make basic route plans using both of these, and how to use the Google Sheets document to basically make your own trading route so you can get out there in diverse and just make piles and piles and piles of credits. So if there's anything I missed, if there's a website out there that already does this, man, let me know in the comments. I'd love to see it. The next thing we're going to talk about, the admin terminals, show you where they're at and kind of thing. And so that's the next bit. So we'll get into purchasing our commodities. So here we go. All right, guys, here we are at Everest Harbor. And in this section of the video, we're going to be discussing the commodity shops, or sometimes I'll refer to them as the admin terminals because they're located in the admin center in our space stations and on planet side here and around Stanton. So without further ado, we're going to dive in. I'm going to show you how, where to find them at and basically how to use them. So here you go. All right, guys, here we are at Terra Gateway. Now, for the most part, all of these stations, they all share a similar look. They're just arranged in a little bit different patterns. One station you may have to take a left, or another one you may have to take a right. But essentially what you're trying to do, you're trying to find this interstation transit elevators, these 2 elevators with the yellow background. And what you need to do is you need to go to the Galleria. That is where the admin center is going to be located at these stations. All of them except for 2. There's like 2 small stations where it's just 1 level. And when you come off your ship, they'll be right there. But there you go. All right. When you come out of those elevators, you're going to be presented with a ring that looks similar to this. Okay. They don't all look like this, but they're similar. But it's basically a ring. Okay. Somewhere on this ring is going to be your admin center. It just so happens here at Terra Gateway, when you come out of the elevators, it's right here to your left. And then, like for instance, the next gateway in Stanton would be right here on your right. It would be right here. Okay. Some of them you have to go up the staircase and it'll be back here. Some of them will be over here. The MIC-1 Lagrange station, you come out of the elevator, it'll be over here.
Okay.
But none of them are going to be like down a passageway, a long passageway. Or so, like for instance, it's not going to be tucked away back here somewhere. It's going to be right here in this ring. Some of them, you'll come off the elevator, you'll go up the staircase, it'll turn, and then it'll be sitting over here. But that's the point I was just trying to make. So it's pretty easy to find. You're just looking for this big yellow area. Pretty simple. So these are your commodity shops. And so this screen's pretty simple. Basically, this is your inventories. Okay. This is the station's inventory. Like this is what they have to sell. And this is what they buy. Okay. And so the first thing you're going to want to do, you want to select, if you're going to buy or sell something, you want to select the inventory that you want to buy or sell out of. So I'm here in my hull B. So let's say if I wanted to do an auto load, I would select that, and then the station will automatically pull the items out of my ship or put items in my ship. Now, if I wanted to do hand load, which is cheaper and arguably safer, you would select the station. So in this instance, it's Terra Gateway. So now that I've got the station selected, and you can see right here, if I buy something, it's going to put it into the station's my local inventory. All right. And again, if I wanted to put it into my ship's inventory, it shows me a ship. It's that simple. Okay. And there we go. So let's say this is what they have. This is what they have to sell. So let's say I wanted to get, I don't know. Let's say I wanted to get hydrogen, right? So what I would do is I would pick, so my ship can hold 16 size 32 containers. Obviously, I would want to get the largest container that it can hold and then fill my ship to capacity. So 16 of those would be full capacity at 512 SCU. So what I would do, you can do one or two ways. You can use the slider, you see how, or you can just hit the arrow button. You can do it that way, or you can get rid of all of them. So let's say if I pick 16 hydrogens, all I would have to do is hit buy, and it's going to ask me, are you sure you want to do that? It shows me you got 16 32s, and I have 512. Well, I decide, you know what? I don't want to do that. Now, currently here at 4.9, it started in 4.7. There's a glitch where, well, let's say I buy 16 32s. So if I buy them and I put them in my inventory, let's go into my inventory. I'm going to say, yep, cool. See how it goes into my inventory. Now watch this. See, hey, it won't let you select nothing else. This is a glitch in the game. This used to not do this. So what you have to do to get around this, you have to go into your hangar and pull all this stuff out of your local inventory, set it on your hangar deck. Then you can come back and buy more. Maybe you needed, I don't know, 2 8s and and a couple 2s to completely fill your ship up. You'd have to buy the 8s, go empty it, go buy the 2s, and then off you go. But that's a current glitch. So I'll tell you what we'll do is I'll go ahead and hand load this and get it loaded up, and then we'll take it and sell it, and I'll show you what that looks like on the sell side. Okay, cool. All right, let's get out of here. Wag her down. There we go. I'm gonna go up this ladder well, and right here will be our elevators. See, pretty simple. All right, and we're gonna go to the Galleria. When we get down here, it'll be to our right. And there it is. Pretty cool. We're going to go to our commodity shop. All right, so the sell. What we're going to do is we're going to select our inventory where our stuff is at. And here it is right here. We got 15, right? So we're going to select max. We're going to sell 15 of these for 562,000 credits. All right. We hit the sell button. It's going to say you go with that. Boom. And folks, that's it. Well, there you go, guys. That was easy, huh? It's not too hard. But that's how you use the commodity shop to buy and sell your commodities. So just remember this. If you want to do the auto loading or auto unloading, just make sure you store your ship and then select the ship when you buy and sell your commodities in the commodity shop there. But it will take a little time from you, and it will take, I think it does take a small fee to do that. The other thing is, if you're going to do loading or auto unloading, it's only going to put cargo on the grid. So let's say you come rolling in a C2 and you've got 1,000 SCU cargo on there. Well, it's only 692 is what it's rated at. It's only going to pull the cargo that's on that grid. It's not going to pull all the extra stuff off too. Just remember that. So you will have to go break out your tractor beam and a hand load. Either put it back on the grid and then try it again, or just throw it in the freight elevator. Just keep that in mind. Another thing is, if you start to encounter server errors, you need to stop doing commodities altogether and jump regions and try that again. Sometimes if you log out and log back in, and you stay in the same region, sometimes it'll put you right back in the same server, same shard. Just remember that. All in all, running commodities can be profitable if there's commodities available. So it's a very competitive game loop. Okay, how fast you can get there, and luck just determines if there's anything to buy or if there's room to sell. So just keep that in mind. And the next thing we're going to talk about is I'm giving you my advice on how to jump smart so you can try to avoid those pesky pirates. So here we go. All right, guys, in this section of the video, we're going to be discussing jumping smart. What does that mean? And the first topic we're going to cover is how to be a hard target, not being predictable, varying your routes, that sort of thing, making it really hard for a pirate to catch you. The second thing we're going to talk about is having a plan, knowing what you're going to be doing before those hangar doors even open up, like where you're going and what your diversionary route is. We're going to discuss that. The third thing, real quickly, we'll be talking about keeping your chat window open so you can see what's going on in your shard, okay? And that's important, and we'll discuss why that's important. And the fourth thing is avoiding going to ground. And I'm talking about the Shubins and the Roy Daltanas and that sort of thing. And the fifth thing is, if you're going to haul cargo in Stanton, stay in Stanton. If you're going to haul cargo in Pyro, stay in Pyro. I'd strongly recommend that you avoid going through jump gates, and we'll discuss that. So if you do all these things, really put the odds in your favor. But if you get lazy and sloppy and you're a greedy cunt and you just want to just jump in straight lines and hit the jump gates and all that, and you're a solo player, man, you're making it really easy for the pirates to pick you off, and you don't want that. You want to make a profit, not lose your tail in it. So let's dive in. Let's take a look at this, what this whole hard target means, and get you set up for success. Here we go. All right, guys, the first part of jumping smart is being a hard target. You're trying to be difficult to predict and thus difficult to catch. You're varying your routes. You're not jumping in a straight line. You're using diversionary jumps. You're avoiding the jump gates. Avoid going to ground, going planet side, that kind of thing. You're essentially prioritizing safety over profit by avoiding these high value commodities like diamonds and gold and locations that either buy or sell them. And the second part of that is, as you're about to see, we have a load of medical supplies. And what we're going to do is, before we even request that the hangar doors be open, we're already going to have our first diversionary jump keyed up and ready to go. And so here we go. Let's do that. I'm going to show you how I do it. All right, guys. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to jump in the ship here. This whole B. This thing is great. And Get our checklist done, and then we're going to head over to Pyro Gateway. So here we go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up chat. I'm going to load that up. I definitely recommend you have that up. I'm going to power up the ship. Okay. So the very first thing I need is, there's an old jump location right there. So what we're going to do, I'm going to select F2, and I'm going to clear this. We're at MIC L1. All right, so here we are at MIC L1, and we need to get to Pyro Gateway. Okay. Pyro Gateway is right here. There's a lot of stuff in between this location. So if we do a line of sight jump, you can see we could essentially fly in a straight line, but we don't want to do that. What we want to do is, when we come out of here, we want to vary our angles. Jumping obviously is a game of angles, and so is getting caught by pirates. And so what pirates will typically do, one or two things, they'll either set up a snare just outside this location in a direct line of sight to Pyro Gateway, or conversely, they'll set their snare up at Pyro Gateway on that line of sight. They'll fly all the way here, and just before they get here, they'll drop out and set up a snare in the hopes of trying to catch you. But they're gonna get on the most lucrative routes where the most money can be made. Typically, is how they're going to do it. It just makes sense. So, but we're gonna treat this as every location, every route has a pirate sitting in front of it. Okay, and that's how we're just going to treat it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I need a diversionary something. I need to get out of here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick, I think this is what, crew L5. So we'll just pick that, and we'll jump there first. Okay, so, and there it is over there. So we've fully loaded the cargo. I'm going to bring on my VTOL, and I'm going to, okay, request the hangar doors are open, and there they come. And I had to cut out a lot of this, man. When I lifted off the deck, for whatever reason, the whole bee decided it wanted to start rolling like crazy. It's kind of nuts, but anyway, when you leave a location, man, you want to get out of there as fast as possible, get into nav mode as fast as possible, and jump out of there as quickly as possible. And the reason is, you don't want to give anybody sitting around an opportunity, enough time to scan you. That's the main thing. Just get in and get out, and have your plan ready to go, and then you can quickly be gone, and then the pirates will focus on easier targets than you. It's basically it. I'm going to drop out and burn for just a little bit. All right, I'm going to pick another location. So here we are. I'm going to go back to the map. We're going to zigzag a little bit. Okay. We need to get to here. Let's say, let's burn to, I want to try to come in. Let's burn to her L3. Let's burn to there for a little bit. I'm looking at the distant meter clicking away right here. I'm watching this. We're going to burn for probably about 4 gigameters. What we can do is we can come up here and look. And we can see here's Pyro Gateway. I want to come in on a really crazy angle. That's a good angle right there. There's nothing back here that you can jump straight line of sight to. I could do it right there, but this is a really nice one right here. It's a really odd angle, right? That's what we're looking for. If you wanted to, you could switch back and go to here, and you could hit it that way. There's nothing right there. It doesn't matter as long as you're just not flying in a straight line to your jump location. Like right here is good. We'll do that. This is not bad. So I'm gonna get out of the map. I'm gonna drop out of quantum jump, right? And pyro gateway. I'm gonna come about to my port side, and there's pyro gateway. Boom. So now you can see I'm coming into this crazy angle right here. Instead of coming like that, now we're coming in from here. That's hard to predict. It's just really hard for a pirate to predict that. Now, you know, it could get lucky. It could. You just don't ever know. But that's what this whole bit's about. It's a game of angles. Instead of coming in a straight line, I'm coming in from a different way. I mean, I wouldn't want to burn to like right here and do it because there's stuff behind me. You know what I mean? Anywhere in here is fine. But that is jumping smart. That's how I do my routes. You just want to zigzag, man. You don't want to fly in straight lines. That whole having a plan, making sure that you're ready to go before the doors open. That's what that's all about. And then I've got my chat open. I'm watching that to see if there's anybody calling out any interdiction zones, that kind of thing. I don't ever go planet side, man. Those are easy pickings for pirates. We're going to get the pyro gateway here and get unloaded. Here we are. We're pulling into pyro gateway. We're going to want to get up here as quickly as possible. Well, there you go, guys. That is how I do my diversionary jumps. For jumping smart, being a hard target, it's not hard. And once you get used to doing it, you really don't even think about it. It's just, remember, it's a game of angles. You just don't want to jump in straight lines. You want to vary your routes, vary your where you're going. You don't want to be predictable. If you're flying back and forth from one location to the next, and somebody's sitting there watching that and sees you're coming and going and coming and going, it could probably work out pretty quickly like where you are coming from, and you would be an easy target for a pirate. You know, like, hey, we'll catch him right before he comes out of quantum jump right here. He seems to be coming back and forth. They scan you. They say, oh, okay, well, he's hauling, I don't know, he's hauling medical supplies. Well, judging by the location and the angle you came in, well, he's coming in from Echo 1. Okay, cool. We'll set up a snare and catch him before he even gets here. And that's the kind of thing. Just don't be unpredictable. Don't do the same thing every time. You stack the odds in your favor of not getting caught. I'm not going to say that you're never going to get caught, because you can't help dumb luck sometimes. But if you play it smart, you make yourself a hard target, you're going to be really difficult to catch. So the whole bit about going to ground is essentially this. There's locations inside of Pyro and Stanton where some of the commodities are more profitable if you go down the ground, like the Shubans and the Roya Deltanas and places, Shepherd's Rest and stuff like that in Pyro, all those places that are on the ground. You can purchase commodities cheaper and conversely sell them for more at those locations, but you risk yourself being picked off by pirates. You come in, you've got to do you may have to do the OM jumps around the planet to get to that location. And those in themselves are an easy place to get picked off at. And then you got to do the approach down to the planet side. That's the easy place to get picked off. And then when you land, there could be pirates on the ground just waiting for you, with ships at altitude waiting for you to land. And as soon as you land, they got you. You see what I'm saying? So that's why going to those locations is so risky, unless you have friends with you. Now, if you got friends and you've got escorts, then do what you do. But if you're a solo player, I do not recommend it. And last but not least, I'm sitting here at Pyro Gateway. This is a highly frequented area for pirates, especially if you're going to go through the jump gates. A lot of these commodities, the best purchase price and the best sell price on some of these commodities is in Pyro. So if you're looking at UEX and you're like, okay, well, cool, I'm going to go to Pyro and I'm going to buy, I don't know, a Festinite, and I'm going to take it to New Babbage and sell it. That means you got to go through the jump gate somewhere. You either got to jump to Nix and then come through the next gateway back to Stanton, or you're doing the Pyro to Stanton. That's the only way you're going to get here. So pirates know this. So it's a funnel. The jump gates are basically are money funnels for pirates, and if you engage in that, there's a good chance you're going to get pirated. So if you're going to haul commodities in Stanton, stay in Stanton. If you're going to haul commodities in Pyro, stay in Pyro. That's my recommendation to you. You know, do what suits you, but that's my thought process on jumping smart and being a hard target. All right, guys. Next thing I want to talk to you about is the space station jumps. Sometimes when you plot a course away from a space station, let's just say you were at Everest Harbor, and you want to do a line of sight to, I don't know, Port Tressler. Well, sometimes the game will automatically give you these OM marker jumps around the planet. You don't want to do that. So let's take a look at this. I made this little video. I'm going to show you this one I'm talking about. It makes more sense than me just sitting here and explaining it to you. Here you go. All right, guys, here's an example of what I'm trying to explain here. Let's say we're at Everest Harbor, and we wanted to go to Port Tressler. Okay. It's going to want us to do a jump to OM1 and then jump to Microtech. Then look, OM6, then OM1 to Port Tressler. It's a bunch of OMs. But the main thing I wanted to talk about is leaving a planet. When you leave a planet loaded with cargo, I don't recommend you do an OM jump. What I recommend you do, pick a location anywhere you can get line of sight to. So like here, like jump to here and then jump, something like that, or jump anywhere away from the planet line of sight to get away. Avoid these OMs if you can on your initial leave when you leave a location. If a run between Everest Harbor and Terra Gateway is highly profitable, or maybe a run between Everest Harbor and Port Tressler is highly profitable, what I would recommend you do is I would recommend you fly out to here to do a diversionary jump somewhere else and then make your approach towards Microtech. Avoid that going around the planet bit fully loaded. You're easy pickings for a pirate. Okay. That's the main thing I wanted to tell you. Avoid this. Avoid these OMs, especially when you're leaving. So what you could do is you could fly to, let's say here. Right now the game's kind of wonky, but there you go. You could fly to here, and then from here jump to Microtech, and you won't have to do the round robin around the planet here in Hurston, which is, this is a very popular area, and there's lots and lots of people that are hanging out. Especially, it depends on the time of day as well. So there you go, guys. That's it, y'all. That's everything you need to know about jumping smart. So there you go. Okay, guys. So real quickly, I want to go over my ship recommendations, and I've got it basically broken down into 4 different categories. The first category is small haulers. If you have a small ship, and I mean 0 to 64 SCU, you're almost better off doing cargo missions than hauling commodities. You can actually make more credits just by the simple fact that you can't really hold a whole lot of cargo. But if you must and you want to, the 2 ships that really stand out that I really like are the Hull A and the Golem OX. I like both of these ships, and the reason why is they're easy to load. that can load very quickly on the exterior cargo grids. It's just simple to load. And I really like this one. Has an interior. It's a really good all-around ship. Okay. And I really like the OX because this thing can haul 32s. So you can stick 2 size 32 containers on here. It's real stealthy and it's got a great built-in tractor beam. These are my 2 top picks for small haulers if you want to get into running commodities, as just for the simple fact of how quickly you can turn it around. Now, the Cutlass Black is not officially rated at 64, but you can stick over 100 SCU of cargo in that ship. And so if that's your starter ship, if you have one, you can make use of that ship. But these 2 are my top picks. They're great. Okay. My next category is going to be the medium haulers, and this is going to be your SCU from like 65 SCU up to about 200. Okay. And starting off, I like the Taurus. This is an all-around. It's of the Constellation series. It has the drop-down place where you can put cargo. It's fairly easy to load. It's fairly spacious, and you can overload this thing. Man, you get this thing overloaded over 220. But the standard cargo load on this deck is like, what, 168? And so it's basically a load of 8s or a load of 32s, and you can put size 4s or 2s on top of that. It's pretty quick and easy to load. It's a good ship. It's got a built-in tractor beam on the nose. I really like this ship. It's a solid choice, and you can rent this ship at New Babbage if you wanted to try it out before you buy it, or go buy it in game. And another ship that I really like is the Asgard. Its standard capacity is what, 180, but you can get this thing over 300 if you work hard at it. So that's a good option, but it is kind of a pain to load if you want to overstuff it, but it can be done. Another great option, probably arguably one of the best all-around hauling ships in the game, is the Raft. Just because of how easy and quick it is to load. This ship can be rented at Lorville, and it's a solid choice for anybody that's wanting to get into the game of moving commodities. The only drawback with this ship, from my experience, is after you've played it for a while, sometimes the elevator will stop working. So you want to keep, like, maybe, I don't know, a size 4 and a spare size 4 and a spare size 2 containers, so you can use that to actually get into this emergency exit. You can actually stack them up and you can actually climb in that way. That's been the only drawback of this ship from my experience, but other than that, it's fantastic because it's got a tractor beam that you can easily load and unload the ship with. And all around, man, it's just a great ship to fly. It really is. It's a winner all the way around. So solid choice. You can rent it at Lorville and give it a shot if you're interested in using that. And then an honorable mention is the Freelancer Max. At 120 SCU, it's pretty good. I mean, it's a solid ship. It can haul ground vehicles, and you can make credits hauling in it, and it's a nice ship. So, obviously, I think the Raft is the overall winner, just for how quick and easy it is to load and unload. I mean, turn it around and get to your next destination. It's a really solid medium hauler. Highly recommend it. All right, guys. Now we're going to talk about the large category of ships that I like. Starting off, as you can see, you got the Starlancer Max right here, coming in at 224 SU. It's a great ship, man. With these little side drop down things, it's kind of neat to load. Plus, you got the cargo area in the back. All around, really nice choice. You can get this in game. So great looking ship too, by the way. The next one, which is kind of like an honorable mention and kind of flies in under the radar, is the Moth. It's kind of weird, but this thing can haul 224 cargo on its little side thingies as well. And you could, if you want to, if you get tired of doing that, you can go do salvage work with it. Pretty neat, but you can put the cargo right here on the sides. So I included it, as you can see, because you can put cargo right there. Kind of cool. The next ship on this list is the Hermes, and this thing can hold, it's rated at 288, but you can get well over 500. This thing has got a great tractor beam. The only thing I don't like about it is the back end of it. The back end of it is basically a Zeus. And that's really the only thing that, let's see. Well, let me see if I can get to a picture of it right here. This is a Zeus. This back end, this whole back end is a Zeus. But you can get this thing over 500 SCU easy. And it's a great ship. Looks good, flies good. I mean, it's just, it's a great ship. Nice choice for a large hauler. The next ship on the list, and one of my personal favorites right now, is the Hull B. This thing is a monster for how quick and easy it is to load and unload. You can get this thing turned around so fast, and then how you can shrink it down to nothing. It's fantastic, man. I mean, one of the best haulers that's come out in a long time. Really, really love this ship. Solid choice. When it comes into the in-game store, man, pick it up. You'll love it. This is the Caterpillar, and I included this because it's been around forever, and it is a solid hauler, but it's a little bit aggravating to load because everything happens over on the starboard side. I mean, you can put stuff into the port side, but it's just aggravating. But it can haul forevermore a pile of cargo, and it's got great jump legs and it's fast. So it's a very iconic looking ship. All in all, solid hauler. It's just in my opinion, there's better options out there. And next on the list is the Raylan. It was just introduced in 4.8, and it's got this, you can load these size 32s on the back and this external load bit. And it's really, really small when it goes into this configuration and land. It's easy to maneuver inside of a hangar. So this is a fantastic ship. I just don't particularly care for it. It's a capability cannot be denied, but it's not my cup of tea. All in all, it's a great hauler. And then last on my list is the Hercules, and for me, this is the probably one of the best haulers, if not the best hauler in the game. It is fantastic. It's so versatile. It can haul any ground vehicle in this category from 200 to 201 to 1,000 SU. This thing can haul 696 is its cargo rate, but you can haul way more than that. And this thing, not only does it haul a lot, it's easy to fly. It handles very, very well. And I love it. I love it. So this is definitely a ship that you want to be working for. But this Hull B though is a beast because of just how quick and easy you can turn this thing around. And with the release of all these cargo haulers that recently come out, there's hardly ever enough cargo to fill it. So that's kind of the drawback right now is the cargo production can't keep up with the demand along with everything else in this game. But that's it is what it is. But these are my picks. So this pretty much wraps up the large hauling category. So there you go. All right, guys, this is the heavy category of haulers. In this category, it's ships that can haul 1,001 SU and up. Okay. Starting off with the Ironclad Assault. This thing holds 1,400 SU. It's got a lot more armor. It can do a lot more. It's a lot more versatile. But there you go. Solid ship, solid choice. The next on the list is the Ironclad. This is the one I have. And this thing is coming in at 2,200 SU. It's fantastic. It's an all-around great ship. I love it. I love how you can just chunk cargo right out the top and you just throw it towards the freight elevators. You don't have to send it out the front ramp if you don't want to. And you just sail that stuff right out there. And it's just quick to unload and load, man. It's great. Love this thing. Solid choice. And then last on the list is the Hull C, coming in at 4,600 SCU. This thing is a beast when it works, and that's the only drawback of the ship. And there was a time that you could take it out, and I did. I purchased it in game and just made piles and piles and piles of credits hauling it. If they ever get it sorted out, man, this thing it's just wreck inventories everywhere. But I included it because it can haul a pile of cargo. So there you go. That is the heavy haulers. And that rounds out my recommendations of ships for hauling commodities in the game currently. There you go. Well, there you go, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you managed to stick it all the way out to the end, I really do appreciate it. I hope you got some value out of this episode and hopefully the entire series. And, you know, if you're new to the channel and you like what you see, please consider hitting that subscribe button. And if you think the video wasn't complete garbage, please consider giving it a thumbs up if you think I deserve it. I hope y'all have a great day. And as always, we'll catch you on the next one. You ready, Anchor? And salute. Ready? 2. Bye, guys. All right, man, we got a mess to pick up here.